Good morning. Happy Sunday. My name is Frankie Olivo, and this is another episode of Sports Talk, Week 13 of the NFL. The location to get all the latest updates right before kickoff. We got 2 hours. This is the place where we give you all the latest information regarding any injuries, any lineup changes, possibilities. We focus on providing you with all the latest information to make sure that you have all the information needed for you to make some money. NFL picks week 13 and locks of the week. Let's get started. The Pittsburgh Steelers do travel to Atlanta. We'll play in the Dome. Pittsburgh is coming off a victory this past week against the Indianapolis Colts. They are favored to win by 1.5. We have seen how the Atlanta Falcons have been competitive in the NFC South. I do like the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do like their defense. I anticipate this being a close game with the Pittsburgh Steelers winning late. I have them winning by 4 points, 24-20, 35-31. I do anticipate the Pittsburgh Steelers coming out on top. Now, a lot of questions have come about regarding the Green Bay Packers. What happened to their offense? Three-time NFL MVP is playing, Aaron Rodgers, that is playing with a broken thumb. How is that going to affect the Packers' divisional game against the Chicago Bears? The Packers are favored to win by 4.5. Justin Fields is nursing a shoulder injury. He is questionable to play. Even though Vegas has the Packers winning by 4.5, I'm going to go ahead and take the Bears. Again, the Packers offense hasn't found that magic, that spark that we're so used to seeing. The running game is non-existent. Aaron Jones has not hit a home run as we're so used to seeing him. So I'm going to take the Bears and the points, 4.5. And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull off a victory in this game. Now, this is going to be an interesting game. This is a toss-up. Jacksonville Jaguars do travel to Detroit. The Lions are favored to win by 1. Trevor Lawrence, this is his first year with a brand new coach. The Detroit Lions, they started off strong. As of late, they got a little. They found a little spark in their offense. I'm gonna take, even though they did lose last week on Thanksgiving to the Buffalo Bills, I'm gonna take the Detroit Lions in a toss-up game. I do think that they will bounce back from their loss against the Buffalo Bills. I just don't see Trevor Lawrence pulling this off. I'm gonna take the Lions in a toss-up game. Now, the interesting thing with the New York Jets has been Zach Wilson. Ever since he criticized his defense, they did ask him, do you think that you let your defense down, your team down on his poor play against New England 2 weeks ago? He said no. After that game, Coach Salah did bench him in favor of White, who did have an impressive victory last week. Minnesota, with their high-powered offense, Jefferson, Cousins, Thielen, and Cook, they are favored to win by 3. Even though the Jets defense has been lights out as of late, I do like the Vikings at home by a field goal. I'll take that any day. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings covering the spread for this game. Now, NFC East, even though the Eagles have been dominant, it's still anyone's division. The Redskins, or the Commanders, I'm sorry, Changuito, the Commanders are rolling right now. They did beat the Eagles on Thanksgiving, and they are on a 3-win winning streak. The New York Giants did lose last week to the Dallas Cowboys. The Washington Redskins, surprisingly, are favored to win by a field goal. I'm going to go ahead and take the points. I like the Giants and Barkley. Even though they are coming off a loss last week against the Cowboys, I do think they bounce back. And by a field goal, I'll go ahead and take the points, and I'll have the New York Giants. Actually, if you want to be a little bit risky, I would even take the New York Giants money line, but we always try to play it safe. We'll go ahead and take the Giants plus 2.5. Now the Eagles have a high-powered offense that will be facing the Tennessee Titans. The Eagles are favored to win by 4.5. I'm going to go ahead and take the Eagles on this one. I'm very sketchy about this game because I do like King Henry and I do like the Tennessee Titans defense, but we cannot deny how explosive Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense has been as of late. I'm going to go ahead and take the Eagles on this one, covering the spread. I have them winning by 10 to 13 points. So I do have them covering the spread of 4.5. Now, Russell Wilson has not been able to find that magic that he showed, or the promise that he showed in Seattle. How's it going, Gilberto? Now, everyone thought, a new change of scenery would be better for Russell Wilson. He does have an offensive-minded coach, but for whatever reason, they're last in their division. For whatever reason, they have been struggling. Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson. The Baltimore Ravens are favored to win by 9.5. Even though the Broncos are struggling, I'm going to go ahead and take the points. Again, every time I come up here, I always look at that game that looks a little weird, and Vegas always does this to us. This is the NFL. You can't give a professional team more than 7 points, in my opinion. I do like the Broncos. I do have the Ravens winning this game, but I do like the Broncos with the points. I'm going to go ahead and take the Broncos. I'll even buy that half a point just to be assured that if they score or a late field goal and make it 10 and cover the spread, we still get our money back. So I'll go ahead and buy that half a point for the Broncos, and I have the Broncos plus 10. Again, I do have the Ravens winning this game, but I'll go ahead and take the Broncos with the points. Now, the much anticipated matchup, or not the matchup, but actually the most anticipated start of this season has been Deshaun Watson after his masseuse incidents, the multiple masseuse incidents and lawsuits that he has faced. He is finally going to see the field. The Cleveland Browns will be traveling to Texas and facing the Houston Texans. Cleveland is favored to win by 8. Is Deshaun Watson going to be rusty? Are we going to see the Deshaun Watson of old that we saw with the Houston Texans? I'll go ahead and take the points on this one. I think the Texans will play a tight game and might even win this game. A lot of controversy has surrounded Deshaun Watson. I'm not sure if he's able to put that past him with the pressure of starting his first NFL game this late into the season. He just started practicing 2 weeks ago with the team. Is that going to affect the chemistry? Is that going to affect him having that continuity with his receivers, with his offensive linemen? It's going to take a while. That's why preseason, that's a great way for you to build that or develop that chemistry with your teammates. So I have the Texans covering this game. I'll take the Texans plus 8. Now, the Super Bowl champions have been plagued with injuries. Kupp is out on the IR with a fractured ankle. And recently we just learned that Matthew Stafford is also on the IR. He did get a second concussion, and he is injury prone. But again, once you win the Super Bowl, you're able to have a few bad games the following season, or so we expect. The Seattle Seahawks are favored to win by a touchdown. Again, this is a very tricky game, but the Rams don't have anybody on the offensive side. I'll go ahead and take Seattle winning big in LA. Now, the highly anticipated matchup, Gilberto said it best. Fins up beat San Francisco. That is a bold prediction by my friend Gilberto, but we cannot deny that the Miami Dolphins are looking like a Super Bowl contender. They will be traveling to Levi Stadium. The Niners are favored to win by 4.5. The Dolphins have a high explosive offense with Waddle, with Hill, with Wilson at the running back that they picked up from the Niners. Tua Tagovailoa is having an MVP-like year so far. It's hard to deny their offense. It's hard to deny the explosiveness. And even though the Niners do have an impeccable defense, I'll go ahead and take the points all day. I'll take the Dolphins plus 4.5 on this game. Now, the AFC championship game, we're having it today at 3 p.m. Kansas City will be traveling to Cincinnati, and they are favored to win by a field goal. These last two games against the Bengals, the Chiefs are 0-2. I think that's going to change this week. I do anticipate the Bengals coming up strong, but it's hard to bet. It's hard to root against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs with the field goal on this one and winning the game. The Los Angeles Chargers will be facing the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are coming off an impressive victory last week in overtime. The Raiders are favored to win by a field goal. I'll go ahead and take the Chargers on this one. I think the Raiders, for whatever reason, you have an offensive-minded head coach. Don't have it. Is it David Carr? Is he part of the problem? We know what Devontae Adams is capable of, but they haven't been consistent week in and week out. I'll go ahead and take the Chargers. I like the stud that Justin Herbert is. I'll go ahead and take the points and possibly even winning outright. I'll take the Chargers with the point. Raymond has the Dolphins winning this game. Again, 4.5 against a high-powered offense. I know they're away, but I'll go ahead and take the points on this one. I'll take the Dolphins at 4.5, but that wouldn't be a bad bet either, Raymond. Now the Cowboys. The Cowboys will be at home facing the Indianapolis Colts. They are favored to win by 10.5. Again, I'm a big proponent in the points, especially at the NFL level. Giving the Colts, even though we can all agree that the Colts aren't what the Colts used to be or what we thought they would be for this upcoming year, I'll go ahead and take the Colts with the points. I have the Cowboys winning, but I'll go ahead and take the Colts with the points. Again, I'll even buy that half a point just to be sure. How's it going, Juan Carlos? Just to be sure that in case they do win by 11, we do get our money back. So again, I do have the Cowboys winning, but I do have the Colts covering the spread. Now, the last game of Week 13 is on Monday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints will be traveling to Tampa and facing Tom Brady. This is a tricky game. Again, Tom Brady has not been consistent. We have seen how the Buccaneers are finally getting somewhat healthy, but I don't think that's going to change. Last week, they lost in overtime against the Cleveland Browns, and I anticipate the Saints winning this divisional game matchup. I'll go ahead and take the points for the Saints at 3.5, and if you're feeling if you want to risk it, I would even bet on the Saints winning money line. Now, the lock of the week. I always try my best to find a game that is somewhat guaranteed. Now, there is no guarantee in life, especially when we're dealing with Vegas. But the one game that I do have my eye on this whole week is the lock of the week is the Detroit Lions. Again, you're saying, Frankie, but this is a toss-up game. All you need to happen is for the Detroit Lions to win. I do like them at home. I don't see Trevor Lawrence or that offense being capable of pulling this off on the road. The Sports Talk lock of the week for Week 13 of the NFL season is this very game. The Detroit Lions coming out on top. Again, it is a toss-up game, but I do anticipate the Lions winning outright. That concludes Sports Talk. Again, we like to keep it short and sweet. I pride myself in preparing, making sure that I give you all the latest information regarding injuries, any lineup changes, how the weather is. That way you can make your picks right before kickoff. You have an hour and 45 minutes to do so. Good luck. Catch you next week on Sports Talk with Frankie. Peace out.